Go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The course we'll be doing tonight, or the subsection of the course, because obviously we don't have a massive amount of time tonight to be able to get through an entire unit. So I've just broken the unit down really quick. The units come from Cert 4 in Leadership and Management, and it is entitled Effective Communication in the Workplace.
Right neater than me.
Alright, so just a quick bit of background. I've worked in the warehousing industry for more than 5 years now, and I've achieved a Certificate 4 in Warehousing and Logistics. I'm also currently doing Certificate 4 in Leadership and Management. And in this session we will be talking about the effective communication in the workplace and go over some basic communication thoughts, styles, and sharing any experiences that we have had with good communication and experience with poor communication and the effects they can have in both the positive and the negative light. So how do we typically communicate?
Oh.
Body language.
Email.
Messenger.
Grinder.
So we can break that down. We can break that down to non-electronic.
Non-electronic, thanks.
My children don't know what that means.
No, it's Gen what? Gen to the millennials.
Jane lost her shit when I told her she couldn't take her phone on the cruise.
Oh no, we'll get no service anyway.
So this is just.
Oh, okay, non-electronic and electronic. Oh,
So,
yeah.
but there are plenty of others. So.
Okay.
We just how do you communicate at work?
We're speaking to someone.
So,
Talking.
verbal.
Yeah, verbal. But that's the word.
So that can be either electronic or non-electronic. Phones.
Lots of emails.
Face
I
to
do
face.
video conferencing
Oh yeah. Yes, thanks to.
every Tuesday and Thursday. We do a video conference.
I could date it
Did you?
I should know this.
Email is our biggest, I think.
Yeah.
It's instant. Someone asked me for a fax the other day. Send me a fax. I'm like, I don't even have a fax machine.
today. Text.
So,
I can email you with
Yeah.
text.
Yeah.
Picture messaging.
I can send you a
Photos.
fax.
Photos.
Diagrams.
MMS.
Like signals.
So sick.
Post-it notes.
So non-electronic. So we'd say meetings face to face.
Yep.
Yeah. Phone calls.
Over the
Oh,
counter.
is phone calls electronic or not? I think that's
That'd be electronic because you
nowadays mobiles. Yeah, true.
Yeah, so it's electronic.
Yeah, we still use the old dial.
So face to face.
Um,
Typically the biggest non-electronic face-to-face meetings. So that's just an oversight of what we'll be going through today and what you already do. Maybe you might not do it as well as you think you do, maybe you do it better than you think you do. So with that, I'll just go and just make sure that, okay, so we won't have any break times, it's going to be super quick, we'll smash through this. So it's clear that you guys understand, what we're going to be working towards. There'll be no assessments, no homework or anything like this. This is just pure information based only, and just so that you can grasp what you do and don't do well, not so well, we can work on. So that'll be your outcome. The outcome that comes out of this will be what you guys take away from this. Obviously, that's pretty clear with an outcome. But the session's aimed at making sure that you guys can internally reflect on how you do and don't communicate. So we'll have, I've got an activity set up, we'll get into that in a minute. For safety information, safety evacuation, we've got this door, we have the map on the wall for the procedure, toilets around the back. I won't hamper us down with too much more. I think that's pretty it. First aid's in the cupboard, and so let's get into it. So how do you know what type of communication is best suited to the message you're trying to send?
Depends if they're in the office or external. Or...
An example I can give is a report. You don't want to write a 17, 18 paragraph report, pure email. Does that make sense? Like you just don't want to type the email away for 18 paragraphs and have that and send that off as your report.
Why?
Some people do that.
That's what I mean. That's the point. How do we know?
The
Impact.
the impact of it. Information just gets lost. It needs to be broken up. You need to perhaps be a little bit more specific. Maybe send 2 or 3 emails.
Or
Maybe-
create a document.
Maybe document an attachment and
Yeah.
send it through. You know, like, that way they can open it and view it as their leisure. You know, there's PowerPoints. There's you know, there's slideshows. There's PDFs. There's so much. There's verbal face to face. There's telephone calls.
With verbal, you're not getting that record as such. There's no, documentation. Yeah, record.
Yeah, well, you
that
can send the
conversation,
documentation
yeah,
through. You
if
can
want
take
it
the
to be
documentation with you,
formal. Yeah.
and you can read through it. You can do, you know, knowing what method to use in that communication is sometimes really tricky.
Sometimes it's quicker to talk to somebody over the phone
Yeah.
than it is to send an email.
True.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely. You know, they might not have time to read the email.
Well, they might not
read
get it
the
till
email
tonight,
you know,
next day.
the importance, especially if it's something urgent and they're
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes just picking up the phone is the quickest and easiest way to do it.
Yep.
You know, they can say you're busy, send it through an email, I'll read it and get back to you later. At least that way they know that email's there and that email's waiting for them.
The tone gets lost in words.
Absolutely. Tone in text, yeah.
You know?
Can be changed, yeah.
Tone and intention.
Misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so there's many different
Tricky.
forms of the communication. And how we intend the communication isn't always how the communication is received.
That's right.
And the activity will highlight a little bit of that.
Okay.
So what is good communication?
Where the other person gets the message that you want them to get. So the message is...
It's
The message
two-way.
sent is the exact message received.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. But it's also a two-way street as well.
Yep.
Sometimes, you know, you can say something at someone or you can say something to someone.
True. Yeah.
And then, you know, that is received very differently each way.
Yep. Depending on the person. The tone.
That's it.
So good communication. Listener receives the information as intended and understood. Yeah, there's no miscommunication there. There's no misinterpretation of what's been said. There's no accountability with the tone of voice or anything like that. You know, good communication is when the receiver receives the information in full and understands the information. So on the flip side of that, bad communication.
How do you make that good communication happen?
When the information has not been received
Correctly.
at all,
Or at all.
yeah, misunderstood, misinterpreted.
Miscommunication.
Just not understood at all. Sometimes.
Not there at all.
That's it.
Not communicated at all. Like lack of.
Sorry,
That's
I'm really not bored. I'm just in my life. I'm so sorry.
Have another glass.
You've got several energy.
Yeah, I have another bottle.
Right, so now we're jumping into the activity. So I, you know, in the interest of, you know, not making this drag on forever, I could have all 4 of you take the activity, but I think a couple watching, a couple involved is probably
I'd love to
the
be
best place to go. I think
Thank you.
I'd love to have you involved.
Oh, stop it.
So this activity will demonstrate your ability to communicate with a work colleague. Doesn't in this instance, but you know, in the real world, that does not know what you're trying to communicate. So, in terms of, for example, you know what needs to be done with a specific task. You're trying to communicate that task to somebody who's never ever done that task before. So this is where communication is really important, so that that person knows what they need to go and do, never having done it before. Now, that's how this relates to real world situations. So if I get two of you to come up here, sit back to back on the chairs here.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Get some. This will be lovely.
We'll just zoom into you.
Right, yeah. So what I want you to do is draw 3 shapes in any configuration you like. You know this? No. 3 shapes in any configuration you like. They could be crossing over, they could be opposite, they could be big, they could be small. Your choice.
No, you're mad. I
Your
would
choice.
too. Oh no, you shouldn't let him do that. I'm scared now.
Alright, so I'll give you that, but I'll get you something to lean on once that's finished.
Oh, there you go.
So, and just draw 3 shapes in any way that I like.
Anyway,
Thank you.
Okay.
okay, so now what I need you to do is explain that picture without telling it or showing the picture.
Oh, she didn't tell me to do this hard. Yeah, you can live with that.
I've got one.
Yeah,
You're
right.
Yeah, you keep your leader
Alright, so you need to explain that picture.
to me. Oh, okay.
Well, actually, it's not very
So they're not allowed to use the words of the shapes.
They can use the words of the shapes,
Yeah.
but that's as far as it goes. So for example, you can say, draw a triangle in the top left corner of the page.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, so he's going to tell me what to draw.
Yep, so you have to draw what he
What he
gives
says.
you within his
Verbal
instructions.
instructions. Okay.
Okay, so go for it.
Go.
Alright, so about a quarter down the page,
Yes.
right in the middle,
Yes.
I've drawn a circle
Yes.
filled with a square, filled with a triangle.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
So you
Match?
can
Oh,
It's pretty good.
kind of,
almost.
kind of.
Ah.
So the breakdown in communication there, communication was very clear in terms of positioning
Yep.
and what it was. You know, you could have went further with your communication and said that the corners touched the circle and the triangle corners touched the square.
Okay.
Also,
So
how
you've
you
got
say
that
it.
there.
So inside, yeah.
But you see, like, very good communication,
Yeah, mine just a
but
touch.
could be better. Yeah, do you
Okay.
see that?
Ah.
Right, so now we'll flip the coin.
Sometimes it's
Do it another way.
So now we'll flip the coin. So I've got another piece of paper here for you if you want.
Okay. Oh, I'll just flip it over.
Flip it over.
Yes, so I'm doing the shapes and I'm explaining. Is that what we're doing?
Yep, in any way, shape and form you like.
Anyway, shape or form. All
I
right.
only went to year 10, so
Okay.
yes.
Be easy, go easy.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Demonstration. Okay. Top left-hand corner.
Yeah.
I'd like you to draw a love heart, but it would be about 3 centimetres high and about 2 centimetres wide.
Okay.
Okay. Then on the right-hand side of the top, a diamond about the same size with it's higher than it is wider. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now right in the middle of the page, I've drawn a star. Don't draw anything yet. It's a 5-point star. And have you ever drawn one of those stars where it's all one line?
Yeah, you can't leave it burnt.
Yes, it's one of those.
In the middle.
In the middle, right in the middle, probably about the same size, if not a little bit bigger than the other two shapes. How'd you go? Can we compare?
Okay. interpretation of the star was probably the only information
Oh.
missed out.
And science.
Because it wasn't directly,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
points weren't
so
exactly.
yours is sort of tilted a
Mine's
little bit.
upside down or,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's satanic.
Is it? Upside
So even so that it's funny, even with the interpretation of size
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and spatial, the interpretation is still smaller.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
is it a bit? Yeah.
Well, maybe you're 3 centimetres
Oh,
high is bigger than mine, and you're 2 centimetres wide is bigger than mine, so that's good.
So well, sometimes
Everyone's
you see,
disappointed by that.
and this is good. I'm glad you got straight off the bat with clear communication because it always it highlights that communication can always be better.
yeah,
Yeah, even though the communication was fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah, and these both
Learn
had,
from
you know,
that.
very, very, very similar. There's all points of that communication that we can tweak to make it better.
Okay, yeah, true.
Okay.
Cool. We can do another one if you want to do another one.
I think you should have seen next to it, it's so much fun.
Was that fun for you? Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys want to jump in, you can absolutely jump in.
Do you
You
want
want to
to
be involved?
I guess so.
Up to you.
Make
Yeah,
the
man.
Still here.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go out that on.
Awesome, thank you.
Do you want to play with Sam?
Please.
Oh, Sam. Okay.
I've done it already. I mean, like, I've done the task already, I don't need to do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Play
Let's
this.
see.
I'm excited. Okay.
You do.
Okay, well, very well, didn't see.
So we can up the game this time a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, first time I get something.
Yeah, well, we can do that. No, let's go a picture, not a shape,
Okay. Use
and
that.
it could be whatever picture you like.
Now, is it allowed two-way communication or one-way communication?
It is purely based on the communication that is given to you.
Okay, so I will be drawing a picture. I'll make it easy for you, Sam.
Wow, easy.
Okay, I've made it easy for you. Alright, you ready, Sam? Okay, so. Geez, this is tricky. Okay, so about not quite halfway across and about 5 centimetres down, I've drawn a triangle.
Okay.
Okay, probably about 5 centimetres size. Each side would be about 5 centimetres. Underneath that, directly underneath it, so on the left-hand point, the bottom point of your triangle, draw a straight line down, about the same length as one of your triangle lines. Go across the same amount as well, and then up again. Does that make sense? So you draw it,
Yeah.
pretty much draw a square. So does it look like a house shape?
No.
You can't say what it looks like.
Oh,
It's not a
I
picture.
just got to tell them what it is. Okay, in the middle of this, so you should have a square underneath the triangle. There in the bottom
You
of
can
the
fix that
square.
now if you like.
At the bottom of the square, draw a little rectangle, 3-sided rectangle, up from the bottom line in the middle. So go up to the right a little bit and then down again to meet the bottom of the square. Good? And then on the right hand side of that little rectangle in the middle, a tiny little circle. Tiny little circle. Okay, so now above that rectangle, to the left slightly, but up about 2 centimetres, another little 2 centimetre square. But in that little square, you want to do a cross, like a straight up and down cross. Okay, now in the space to the right of that picture, so 1, 2, 3, 4, I want you to draw like a cloud shape, probably about as big as the square on the left hand side, the square that you did over the other side. So a cloud shape, like loop to loop to loop to loop. It's so hard. Tell me when you've done that.
Done.
And then underneath the cloud shape, on the left, toward the just off centre to the left, I want you to draw a line, but a bent line like an arc shape. Like an arc shape pointing, yeah. And then on the other this isn't good, is it? And then on the other side to the left of the centre, another arc shape pointing, yeah, facing out from that. Does that make sense?
Oh,
Okay.
that's pretty
What
much
have we
it.
got?
Explain what you went wrong before we got
The square. Did I say right? or
You
left?
didn't tell me.
Oh, didn't I?
You said draw a line down
Yeah.
and then draw one across and one up.
Oh, from the point. Oh, I did. I said down, across.
And then for the
And
door,
then
you
up. Oh,
said
yes.
to the right of the rectangle.
I can do.
And then when you were explaining the window, you
Yeah.
didn't say to move across.
To
You
the
just
left.
said,
Okay, move up.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep.
And then,
Then
it
this
wasn't
one
clear
from-
where exactly how much over here it was
Okay, yep.
and which direction the arcs were going.
No, I didn't say
I
that.
thought I was drawing a bird.
I was going like, I was going
Because you were talking about I thought it was a cloud and a bird and it ended up being a tree.
So in terms of you trying to make it as easy as possible, you probably made it way more complicated than
I
it
did
is.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Where if you were able to say, draw a house,
Yeah.
draw a door on the house,
House.
make sure it's got a handle. on the
Yeah.
handle.
Yeah.
Draw a tree to the left of the house.
It's a little bit different.
That's
Well,
half
I
of it now.
actually
house
had
is
to
a
change
house.
this because she explained it as she was going
But then I said, it should look like a house. Oh, hang on.
So this could be a good example of someone who's obviously not real good at English as well too.
Oh,
Because,
thanks.
in terms of multiculturalism. Yeah.
A language barrier.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And trying to explain things in normal, what you think is normal plain English.
Yeah. It's not
As easiest
terminology.
as you can do it, you know, like you're trying to break down information as easy as you can. But sometimes even trying to break it down really easy makes it even more complicated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well done.
That's a good lesson.
There we go. You can keep that.
There you go.
Cool.
This is
Yeah,
I'll swap you
that's-
the.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Oh, that was tricky.
Alright, so I've given you a handout. The first handout is with the big table. That was a breakdown of the methods of communication, the benefits, the shortfalls, how and why the method is applied to work, you know, in terms of that, is it the best method for what I'm trying to convey. So you can take that home, you can read through that. That's some good beneficial base knowledge. What we're going to look at now is some communication styles. What sort of communication styles do we think? You know, we've got in that handout, so we'll just go off the handout. So we've got active.
Yep.
Right, so
Would you like us to read it?
yeah, you can read it if you like. We've got 4 topics. There's 4.
Okay. Active, direct and animated, quick to decide, use language for impact, confident and jump in to fill pauses and silences.
Oh,
Logical, strong opinions, use language of extremes, practical and realistic, like framework, need aim and evidence, logical approach.
Thinker? Or do you want me to do connector?
No, you can do connector. That's fine. Yeah.
Connector. Approachable, empathetic, intuitive and rely on feelings, subjective, considerate, pause before talking.
and thinker is objective, seeks data and facts, controlled, think before speaking, and less concerned with emotions.
So which one do we think? Which one do we think we fall into? What do you think you fall into?
Bits of everything, really.
I'm more of an active.
See, I would have said you were a connector.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't judge.
I'm not judging, I'm just saying my interpretation of Vanessa.
Okay.
I'm a thinker, I don't care about people's emotions. No, I do. I think
I'm
I'm
not a
logical.
thinker, I don't.
I like a strong opinion.
Yeah.
And, practical and realistic.
Yep.
I'm definitely not a
That's
thinking
not what
person.
I was saying.
Use of language extremes. Yeah, that's definitely mad.
I'm definitely not a thinking
Depends on
person
how it
before
goes.
speaking.
No, me neither.
I don't know, I think I'm a bit of a mix between active and connector.
I was going to say the same with me too.
Yeah, I
Because I know I
can
don't pause.
see. I can see traits of myself in a lot of them. I think I'm quite logical, but I think a lot about the logical steps. So
Yeah.
like I'm part thinker, part logical,
Mm-hmm.
part active because I want to get in there, I want to get it solved, I want to do what I need to do.
Yep.
And connector because I want to be able to bring everybody in to the conversation and you know as part of a team leader in my job
Yep.
to be able to make sure that you know to bring everybody else in.
So,
It's a good one, yeah.
So in conclusion, we've worked on methods of communication, how we think they do and don't work. We've worked on the style of communicator that we think that we are. And we've also, you know, through the activity worked on, you know, sometimes we think we're given the best information and the best communication that we can, but it highlights that, you know, that's not always the case and that the listener doesn't always hear what you're intending to say. So a lot of thought needs to go into how you communicate, why you communicate, all that sort of stuff. So, how do you think the session's going? Did we
I
get
liked
anything out of
it,
the
yeah,
session?
it was good.
So much fun.
it's fun and interactive.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So we're walking away,
Learned a lot.
learning something. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, that's
Not to trust
fantastic.
a line to draw a house.
So, I'd like to say thanks for participating and thanks for being involved. So what happens next? So this is just one element of the certificate leadership management. We can from here we can now build on our base, and the next session could be in terms of conflict resolution, where we know what we need to communicate, how we need to communicate, how communication can break down, and then go into conflict resolution. Having that knowledge, we can come out of conflict resolution having better results.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, that's it guys. So